Welcome to the Majors of the Month series. I'm Bill Gentry, the Assistant Vice President of Career and Professional Development at High Point University. This series is dedicated to helping you explore and understand what you can do with various majors HPU offers. Each month, a different major will be highlighted, and we're hosting a panel, including a faculty member, an employer, and a person from Career and Professional Development to discuss different aspects of that major. The major of this month is biology. Today, we're speaking with Dr. Veronica Segarra, Interim Chair and Assistant Professor of Biology at High Point University, and Dr. Shannon Morsello, Product Biology Insecticides Technical Manager at Syngenta, about what you can do as a biology major. You know, one thing you may not know about the biology major is that there are various fields that you can actually pursue. Some of these include research and development, healthcare, biomedical sciences, biotechnology, bioinformatics, education, communication, and business. So be sure to utilize the What Can I Do with this major link at the end of the panel discussion to further explore your options as a biology major. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Dr. Segarra, can you give a brief introduction about you, including your role here at High Point University?
Sure, it would be my pleasure. Hello, my name is Veronica Segarra. I'm an assistant professor of biology. I also am the interim chair of our Department of Biology. And one of the things that I love about my work here at HPU is that I get to see students sculpt, so to speak, their careers in biology. And truly, it's an inspiration. Many times, they surpass our expectations and they create very specialized niches that really speak to who they are as scholars and as individuals. So I look forward to sharing some of these things with you today. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And Dr. Morsello, can you give a brief introduction of yourself, including your role and your organization?
Right. Thank you. Yes, I'm Shannon Morsello, and thank you for the opportunity to share with you all about my role. It is a mouthful. As you said, I'm the North American Product Biology Insecticides Technical Manager. I work with Syngenta for about 13 years now. And actually what that really is about, I work with a small team that we are responsible for. On an annual basis, we develop experiments that look to evaluate new product concepts for how well they are able to protect agricultural crops like your corn, soybean, apples, etc., from insect pests. So these research activities can vary greatly, where we might set up experiments with field scientists that can vary from looking at newer, softer chemistries to see how well they're still protecting against insect pests, as well as looking at biological control agents like pitting your ladybugs against the aphids in your tomatoes, or using pheromones to maybe disrupt insect behavior and break the cycle of damage that might occur to a crop. So on an annual basis, we have an opportunity then to go and visit these trials when travel is permitted normally. And in those cases, then we visit with these field scientists and we have the opportunity to share about what works, what doesn't, and then suggest back to the business based on biology, how well we think a product works and whether or not it should continue on for a project.
That's great. That sounds really great. Again, biology majors are really able to hopefully see themselves in that and many other things we're going to be talking about today. So first question I'm going to have is for Dr. Segarra. Why is it great to be a biology major?
Oh, what a great question. I think that at the center of that question is the idea that biology, I think it's really at the crossroads of a lot of cool careers and disciplines. And because of that, biology is a very multifaceted and adaptable subject, and students can really tailor it to what their interests are. For example, they might be interested in medicine, research, public health, and I think you mentioned some of these areas before during your introduction, but even sometimes things that are outside of the box that we might not immediately think about. For example, education, from patient education all the way to K-12 education, and even art in the context of medical and molecular illustration. So it's at the crossroads of many interesting areas, and that allows students to really customize and weave their own niche or specialty that they'll go on and thrive in. Thanks.
That's great. Dr. Marcel, a question I have for you. Why do employers like to hire biology majors?
That's a great question. And it's an important one that I face a lot these days, because right now we are looking at that universities are more strapped for resources, and a lot of the university departments that used to have resources for applied research like we'd be looking for in these businesses aren't there, and we're not sharing. So I really appreciate the opportunity with yours that we're able to communicate that some of the things that I see specifically, I work alongside a lot of different types of scientists, chemists, microbiologists. I work with engineers and modelers as well, data scientists. And what I find about biology majors in particular, we are the best at recognizing that life is messy. Very often, we're having to take a look at experiments or individuals that are biological in nature and find that those experiments very quickly, the most interesting part about it is what we didn't expect to come out of that. And it's those pieces that are unusual in those experiments that we can take a look at through the messy part of those experiments and still make recommendations about how to proceed next, whether that might be to test again and reevaluate better so you can clean up those results, or to proceed or chase down that more interesting aspect of it.
Great. So a couple last questions here that are going to be for both of you. I'll start with Dr. Marcelo first. What are some great things to put on your resume as a biology major?
Yeah, that's a great skill or interesting question to have, because I think one thing that's important to have either on the resume somehow highlighted or in an interview that you would really emphasize on would be, I think, table stakes that you have to have highlighted as your organizational skills. You're going to have a lot of information, and to be organized and be able to communicate well are just bottom line. You have to have that, as well as the ability to work autonomously. That's really important. That's kind of table stakes. But what I think might be even more critical to have is also going back to that communication piece, is to share findings amongst a team and take information back from a broad team to digest it down into something that a group can all agree on. So you're working to influence maybe a team of 5 equally knowledgeable scientists and try to come to a consensus together. So you're working to also influence others to at least agree on the best path forward, and that this should be one way to move. And that's an important skill that is not often, it's not just to biology majors, but I think it's a challenge for any scientists also to recognize that we have to bring it all down to maybe only one pathway to possibly work forward, and let's all pull in that direction.
Dr. Segarra, how about you? What are some great things to put on your resume as a biology major? What are your thoughts?
Sure. I would say that anything that you've done that speaks to what your interests are for the future as a professional. This might include research that you've done alongside faculty or during summers, volunteering opportunities that you've engaged in, or physician shadowing experiences, positions that essentially demonstrate that you have had opportunities to develop your work ethic and other skills and scholarly interests. Even courses that you think speak to what you want to be doing in the future and have shaped what you want to be doing in the future. So any of those things would be good to include.
Great. The final question I have for both of you, what is your best piece of advice for a biology major here at High Point University. Dr. Marcella, how about you go first? What is your best piece of advice for a biology major here at HPU?
I would advise everyone to take advantage of any intern type of experiences, whether it's paid or unpaid, long-term, short-term, work in other people's labs, shadow graduate students, other professors, even from different fields, just to get that experience and observe others in their environment so that you can communicate well with others about what the challenges are.
Great. And Dr. Segarra, how about you? What is your best piece of advice for a biology major here at High Point University?
Yeah, so I guess the one piece of advice would be to really nurture those relationships with your peers and professors. And you can do this even through your coursework and extracurricular activities, maybe through office hours, group study, research, volunteer work. Make sure that you're getting to know people for who they are and how their careers in science have really shaped what they're doing now. If you do that, and also if you seek experiences to try out different things that you might like or might not like, right? I think you'll be beautifully set up for success in the future. And if you nurture those relationships, what a beautiful thing. You'll give us, your biology professors, the opportunity to enjoy the ride with you and help you along the way. Thanks.
That's great. Well, I want to thank both of you, Dr. Marcella, Dr. Segarra. Thank you both for being part of this today. I want to make sure that the students here, when they're looking at this, make sure to use the "What can I do with this major" link on our career and professional development website. You've got some really great advice here from two people with biology backgrounds. That website can also let you know other things that you can do with a biology major. Our office is here to help you too. If you'd like to make an appointment with our office to explore more about what you can do with a biology major, please make sure that you do so from our career and professional development website. Thank you all again.